afternoon, listeners. This afternoon I bring you breaking news. As I'm sure you can hear, I am actually reporting to you live today from the beach. I cannot be sure why there is suddenly a beach along the borders of our lovely city, but I can tell you that I will be bringing you the latest news about it. Listeners, I am standing out behind the river market looking at what should be the Arkansas River. But instead of our beautiful river cutting through the land, the water seems to go on forever. Instead of rocks and land at water's edge, there is sand. So much sand. It seems the entire world north of the Arkansas River, at least from what I can see, is gone. I'm still waiting on a report from a sister station northeast of us. I have a feeling we may be waiting quite a while for that one. While we wait, I am going to make the short trek back to my studio, during which I'll leave you with the traffic report. What is a car? A car is a mode of transportation. For some, a car is a burden. Financially, costing them more than it's worth just to keep running. Emotionally, a car passed down from a family member who would be disappointed in how it's being used now. For some, a car is a given. They expect a car, they deserve a car, and so they have one. They have never been without one. For some, a car is hardly necessary. If one lives near a decent public transit system, one may not even require a car. But for some, a car is nothing short of long-awaited freedom. Your first car always feels special. That final piece in an independence puzzle you've been piecing together since the day you were born. Let independence find you. Drive DeLorean. This advertisement has been brought to you in strict compliance with the TCA 1322. Well, listeners, it seems I accidentally ran an ad instead of the traffic segment. My sincerest apologies. I have made it back to my humble little studio, and although I cannot see our new beachfront out my studio window, the air in Little Rock seems to have a sudden salty twinge to it. It should also be noted how strange this is, considering our closest ocean is to our south, and this ocean seems to contain everything north of the Arkansas River. How very strange. Oh, and before I forget, when I got back to my desk just moments ago, I found this letter. I figured since it was left so specifically on my desk right in front of the microphone, why not read it on air? Victor, you must know more than you're letting on. We all listen to the radio, we all know something's wrong. I know it even more. I can see it, Victor. Something is coming. This will not end well, but end it will. End it will. P.S. Your eyes are just stunning today. Yours truly, Elizabeth. Well, that's odd. Listeners, I'm afraid I've no idea what she's talking about. I mean, there have been a few strange interruptions in signal lately, but I assure you I have complete and total control here. We've nothing to worry about, dear listeners. And to all of my listeners, even the most distant, even the most authoritative, I'd just like to bring awareness that we are operating here completely and totally within all existing law, ordinance, and act. In fact, let me go ahead and give you the traffic report. It's an interesting day in the traffic world. There's a pod of whales traveling down I-40 headed west, and they seem to be obstructing sea turtle traffic trying to merge on. All bridges, which used to span the river, now ominously stop, hanging over the ocean like piers, and we even have a few talented fishermen on the end of the Main Street Bridge, trying their hand at ocean fishing. Cars are occasionally driving out of the ocean onto the sand, seemingly confused but not otherwise physically impacted from the water they were presumably unceremoniously dumped into when the ocean appeared. If you found yourself driving into the ocean, just continue to follow the road if you can see it, and eventually you'll drive right back onto land. Other than that, we're looking pretty good downtown with no current accidents citywide. This has been the traffic report. What a strange but completely controlled day we're having, listeners. Well, I mean, I certainly don't control the ocean, but aren't we all in control of our lives? We all control our lives more than we realize. Take comfort in that fact, listeners. Say it with me. I am, in fact, in control. I'm getting an update on our ocean situation. Although there is now ocean as far as we can see starting at the banks of what used to be the Arkansas River, it seems it doesn't follow the river's pattern to our west. To our west, at our city limits, is also ocean. The ocean simply wraps around, seeming to know where we humans have placed arbitrary limits, seeming to know what counts as Little Rock and what doesn't. Sand touches the land where the water meets it, witnesses say. Witnesses also say the new beaches look like fantastic places for Little Rock residents to spend a weekend. Perhaps we need to look on the bright side here. We're a beachside city now. Surely there are lots of good things about being a beachside city. The air is a bit salty for my taste, but I'm sure I will get used to it. Well, enough of my personal thoughts. We've business to attend to. Programming update. Despite the success of 2020's Time Traveler Meetup program, last Thursday's meetup is hereby cancelled due to changes in the local legality of time travel. This following Monday's Moon Sand at the Library program has also been cancelled. This is due to the fact that rather than being the classic colorful sand we all know and love from childhood, we appear to have somehow collected real moon dust. Upon this realization, we immediately got a call from a man only identifying himself as Johnson, who said that the moon sand was dangerous and to send it to him immediately. He also said it was completely devoid of value, and that his laboratory would perform tests on it to determine whether or not it was, in fact, legitimate moon sand. He did seem rather excited, said something about the advancement of science for all mankind. Either way, that program is definitely cancelled. We apologize for the inconvenience, and we remind you that the library has a fantastic selection of digital programming available at all times online. Listeners, I'm receiving an update on our new ocean. It appears that to the south, too, is the ocean. Following our city's legal limits are sandy beaches. Palm trees are also starting to appear all over the city. I'm being told it adds quite well to our wonderful and historic decor already in place. Well, I suppose that makes it official then. Listeners, we are officially an island. With that, let me take you to the weather. As the sun sets on our lovely new little island, it feels strange. I'm watching the sun through my studio window and the way it hits all our lovely new palm trees. I wonder what tomorrow will hold. Perhaps some sort of exciting beach adventure. For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that I am running desperately low on time. I'm sure it's nothing. After all, we have plenty of time together, listeners. Until they pry this microphone from my cold, ocean-soaked hands, I will remain here, providing you all with the latest library news. It has been an honor to be your radio host for the evening. And as always, listeners, stay tuned.
The city of Little Rock has been isolated.